Hi guys, I'm back again today with another video, and today we're checking out my healthcare experience in Europe as an American. So this is gonna be fun to see how an American would react to healthcare in Europe versus how they got healthcare in the States. So yeah, I'm really intrigued. Before we do start, don't forget to subscribe, click the bell button, and let's begin. Let's see.
Hey guys, I'm going to talk about my healthcare experience when I went to Europe. So I just got back from a trip to Europe. I went to Barcelona in Spain, and then I flew to Amsterdam. I was in Barcelona for a week. I was in Amsterdam for a week too, and then I went to Vals, which is in southern Holland, for my uncle's wedding, and I went to Mönchengladbach, Germany, for 2 days, and then I flew back home. So when I was in Amsterdam, I hurt my foot. I went dancing for too long in a nightclub, and the next morning when I woke up, my foot was like it hurt really bad. It really felt like someone had taken a hammer and almost smashed right behind my toes on my left foot, and it was swollen, but there was no marking, so I was kind of confused. I was like, why does it hurt? And I guess I just had overstressed it. So I took it easy for a couple days, and then I decided. Then I went on a walking tour of Amsterdam. I did a guided tour of the red light district and this museum tour and stuff like that. So I was walking around for 2 hours straight, and normally that's no problem. I walked 6 miles a day when I was in Barcelona, and I'd been biking around all the time in Amsterdam. But by the end of the walking tour, my foot was just hurting really badly, and I was limping, and I knew it was no good. So the next day, I drove with my uncle to Vals because we were going there for his wedding, and not much improvement at all. I think I waited one more day, and then on the day of the wedding was starting at 1:32, something like that. I was like, okay, I gotta go to the doctor. It's not improving. It's getting bad. So I was at a hotel, so I asked the hotel reception, where's the nearest doctor? So they pointed out on the map for me, and it was like a block or 2 blocks away. I think it was 3 blocks. So I called them up, and the recording line was in Dutch, so I had no idea. I speak German and Spanish pretty well, but I can't speak Dutch, so I had no idea what they were saying on the recording line. So I said, screw it, I'm just gonna go straight there. So I think it was around 10 o'clock in the morning, something like that, on a Thursday. And I walked there. I limped to the doctor's office. So I get there, and I check in, and I just go up to the desk and I say, hey, how's it going? I got this problem, blah blah blah. They take my ID, they scan it, they tell me that it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to check me out. So keep in mind, I'm an American citizen.
I'm going to do conversion.
I live in California. I have health insurance here, but I don't have, it's not international health insurance.
No.
So I'm over there, I am not a citizen, and I have no health insurance. So they tell me, okay, so it's going to be 25 euros for the doctor to see you. So I say,
Oh
okay,
my gosh,
right.
1,500 pesos for, wow, that is good. Over here, probably in Manila, probably that's the same price. Here in smaller cities where I live, it's probably half the price of this. Okay, so that's good. That's a consultation, I think. Yeah.
So I go. I had to get cash. They wanted me to pay in cash. So I was like, that's fine. So there's an ATM across the street. So I went and got. I went and got the cash, and then I waited probably 10 minutes, maybe. It might have even been less than that. It was 10, 15 minutes. I went and saw the doctor. She examined my foot, She did a thorough job. She looked at it. She said, she asked me questions, blah, blah, blah. She looked at my other foot to compare. My left one was kind of swollen and blah, blah, blah. So she looked at the foot. She said, okay, I think you need an x-ray. I think it has like a stress fracture. And, she heard my whole story and everything. She said, I don't have an x-ray machine here, but I can write you an x-ray recommendation for a hospital. So I said, okay, that sounds good. She wrote me the recommendation, and then she said, I can give you it's like a painkiller slash anti-inflammatory prescription. So I went, so I said, okay, great, that sounds good. I'll take the prescription. So she gave me the prescription. There was a pharmacy in the downstairs of the doctor's office. So I went down the elevator, went to the pharmacy. They filled my prescription, and it was €7 for this like painkiller slash anti-inflammatory pill. So and it was funny because they said, "Oh, do you want a receipt so you can try to get your health insurance to pay for it?" And I just
For
started
€7.
Like, what's the point? I'm going to spend like an hour on the phone to try to get
Oh, true.
€5 from the insurance company or whatever. So I was like, no, it's fine, don't worry. So I had the painkiller, and I had the doctor, the recommendation for an x-ray. Okay, so the next day, so the wedding happens. The next day, my foot's actually feeling a little better, probably due to the pill she had given me. And so I'm driving with my relatives to Mönchengladbach, which is pretty close to the German Dutch border. So my aunt, my great aunt, she takes me to the basically the emergency room in her town, Mönchengladbach. So I go there. They had me fill out a little bit of paperwork. They like photocopied my ID. I signed a couple things. So I go to get the x-ray, and first I'll tell you how long I waited. First, I check in, then I go back to the emergency room. I probably waited about a half hour. I think I made like a phone call, and I read a couple news articles on my phone. It was a half hour, and this is an emergency room. And again, I have no insurance, and I'm not a German citizen. So, go there. I wait about a half hour. I go and see the doctor. The doctor examines me again. I tell her the whole story. Then she says, okay, we're going to give you an x-ray. So I walk down to the x-ray room. They do the x-ray. I go to the reception room in the x-ray wing of the hospital, and they say, okay, your charge is €20 for the x-ray. So I'm like, all right, great, that sounds good. €20. So I go back up. They look at my x-ray. They say, okay, you don't have a stress fracture, but you need to take it easy for a bit. They're like, you have lots of inflammation, and you just got to take it easy, and etc. So they give me this. They give me like a pain cream, and they wrap my foot up, and they send me on my way. So I leave the hospital, and I tell my aunt, I'm like, yeah, they only charged me €20, and she,
Was
how
the
Germans are.
cream?
Oh, that's not right. You probably owe them a little more. So I was like, all right, whatever. So we go back to the billing office, and they determine that I owe them another €60. So my total charge for visiting an emergency room in Germany was €80, and that included an x-ray. So if you did the same thing in the United States and you didn't have health insurance, and especially if you weren't a citizen, I'm sure the x-ray would probably cost at least $300 or $400, and then just the fact that you're in the emergency room would at least be another couple hundred. So you'd probably be at the door at $500. I show up, not a citizen, no health insurance, and they charge me €80.
I don't know if I told you guys this joke. I probably did tell you guys, but I forget. And I'm gonna say it again because it's like the funniest thing I've ever seen in my life. I think I was on TikTok, and this person said, like, I cannot even afford to die. They were like, with this healthcare that we have here, I can't even afford to die. And that was the funniest thing I've ever seen, because it's so true. Because like, funerals need to be done, maybe medical bills if you were gonna die in a hospital, and of course the casket so expensive and all that. Like, dying is even like unaffordable anymore, right?
And I was happy. I waited a half hour at the emergency room, and I waited like maybe 15 minutes at the doctor's office in Holland. So overall, I think my experience was pretty good, and I was obviously I was happy that I didn't have a fracture, because that would have really ruined the rest of my trip. And yeah, so it was really good. But I just hope that this leads to a further discussion about the healthcare system we have in the United States, because over there they have a combo of, it's mostly universal healthcare, so it's like single payer universal healthcare where the government pays for it. And in Germany, you can buy, I think in Holland too, you can buy supplemental healthcare insurance. So like if you're for some reason you're not happy with it, then you can pay extra money. But the prices are way lower. The wait times were faster, if you ask me. And what a lot of people will say, they'll say about they'll rag on the Canadian system, or they'll rag on universal healthcare systems. They'll say, oh, the wait times are forever, and you're going to get a shitty doctor and poor care. And I never had that problem. And granted, I only went to two different doctor's offices, and a doctor's office and an emergency room. But yeah, that was my experience. So hopefully you can pass this on to other people and tell them, spread the truth. All right, have a good one.
So he spent around 120 to 130, right? And that is, I mean, if you're an American, that would be great. Let's say 130. Let's do math. 130 euros to, that's 7,000 pesos. Here in the Philippines, that is already expensive, obviously, because our economy is far lower than Europe, obviously. For Europeans, that is like really good. Or maybe if you have insurance, if you don't have, like, if you saw this, you'd be like, oh my gosh, that's so bad, right? But if you had insurance, maybe it's lower, maybe it's half the price or something like that. But as a Filipino, seeing that price, it's like really, really good. Especially me thinking that, the income over there is way better. Here in the Philippines, this is a good price, right? It's a good price. But since our economy is shimenkos, a lot of people will be like, yeah, even me, like, if I broke my toe or whatever, and I have to pay 7,000, almost 8,000 pesos, I will be like, nah, bitch, I'm just gonna like wait it out. I'm just gonna be like, no, thank you. This is mostly people's monthly salary. This is people's monthly salary. So this is a lot still. But on that note, it depends where you go, because this could easily be, yes, similar price, a bit lower actually. If it's me, right, I'm I'm in the middle when it comes to whatever. So for me, this will be like, okay, if it was really broken, okay, I can pay this. But if it was just like fractured or like it's swollen, 7,000 to 8,000 pesos, oh, that's too much, right? But I can still pay this price, to be honest. I can still pay this price, but I would choose not to pay this price. That's the thing, because it's still low-key expensive. But in the Philippines, you can get this price depending what hospital or doctor you see. If it's private, if it's like high end, right? We still have those. But if it's like the public healthcare, then yeah, this is going to be really low, like lower than 130, maybe it's just 30 euros, to be honest. But anyways, beautiful people, this has been interesting. Let me know where you're from, and is this similar, or is this more, or is this less, right? Thank you guys, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.